We're Sid and Mackie, and we're professional mountain bikers on a mission to try the most unique and challenging mountain bike races around the world and the United States. For the past month, however, we've been doing a different sort of challenge. We committed to leaving our car parked and doing all of our errands by e-bike for one whole month. And yes, that month was January. And well, it was a little harder than we anticipated. I'm not cold.
Okay.
Yet.
Bad news?
The bad news is I'm wet, so I'm probably going to become cold. We'll do this differently.
For most of our careers, we looked at our bikes as, first and foremost, high-performance tools. You would sooner find us driving to the trailhead or the race start than trying to grocery shop on our bikes. And since we lived and worked out of our van, we never needed to commute. However, two things have happened recently to change that. One, we bought a house in Los Alamos, New Mexico, a small town where we can ride trails out our front door, and we're only 6 miles from the grocery store with bike lanes almost the entire way. Number two, our sponsor, Niner Bikes, recently launched an electric gravel bike, the RLT E9 RDO. If you aren't familiar with electric bikes, or e-bikes as they're more commonly called, they're basically just regular bikes with one significant difference. They have an electric motor that assists you while riding. Just like regular or acoustic bikes, they come in a variety of styles, from road to cruiser to commuter to mountain to gravel. There are even some really cool adaptive e-bikes like this one that our friend Jeremy rides. In addition to the different styles, there are 3 different classes of e-bike. Class 1 is pedal assist, meaning it only gives you power if you're pedaling, and it will only assist you up to 20 miles per hour. You can go faster than that, but you don't get any power assist past 20. Most e-mountain bikes are Class 1. We don't generally see a lot of Class 2 e-bikes, but they're similar to Class 1, except they also have a throttle, so you don't necessarily have to pedal to get the power assist. Class 3 is the same as Class 1 in that they are pedal assist only, but the assist is topped out at 28 miles an hour instead of 20. Most e-road and e-gravel bikes are Class 3, including the Niner RLT E9. We've always said we thought e-bikes, especially e-road and e-gravel bikes, could be a replacement for cars. In fact, before we actually rode e-bikes, we were maybe a little bit snobby and might have said things like, it's okay if e-bikes replace cars, but not if they replace mountain bikes. However, since getting e-bikes, we've realized they're amazing tools for training and recovery, as well as just really darn fun. Somewhat ironically, we've yet to use them as commuting vehicles, so now seems like as good a time as any to put our money, or rather our pedal strokes, where our mouths are.
Before we jump into our experiment, we do want to share the kind of ground rules that we have set out for ourselves. So the main goal here is to not use the car for any errands or daily activities like that. As you guys know, we are renovating our house, so that is one exception. We probably will need to get some lumber. We'll probably need to go to the dump. Our other exception is to go skiing, or if we need to ride dry trails and have to drive there, we'll probably do that. That probably won't be more than, well, it depends if we get snow or not. There are no rules on a powder day. No friends, no rules.
Number 2 is we can use our normal bikes as well as the e-bikes. This isn't an e-bike exclusive activity. If we're out training and we're like, gotta go run by the grocery store and grab a couple of things, at the end of the training ride, we can go by and do that. It's just that because we are training, riding our normal bikes from the house to the grocery store and back, which is like 12 miles, 1,000 feet, is kind of a lot to add on if you've already done a hard workout or it's a recovery day and you're trying to recover.
The first day of our experiment, and we need to go do some errands. It is 51 degrees and sunny, so I think it's safe to say that today will not really test our commitment to commuting by bike, but it should be a lovely ride to the grocery store. So these are the packs we're going to be using. These are the Osprey Escapists. They're pretty darn big. I am not sure this is going to be enough for a week's worth of groceries, or at least a couple days worth of groceries. I have a feeling we are going to need to upgrade to a pannier setup at some point over the course of this month, but we're gonna give it a go. First stop, hardware store. Mackie's looking in the backpack. I should say that your siblings borrowed this. We found this.
No, it is not what you think it is.
It's not what you think it is.
It's a SteriPen.
It's a water sterilizer, basically.
Yeah. Okay, I will be back.
I didn't know we needed such long things.
We needed dowels.
Oh,
They're not heavy though, so
right,
we don't
that's
get
good.
to count them as an exception. Wood sealer,
Okay.
so that's a little heavy, but
Okay.
you know, it'll minimize the number of groceries I can carry.
Feeling like we're gonna have to pare down our grocery list a little bit.
I got too much hardware
I
stuff.
think you got too much stuff at the hardware store.
All right. What do you think? Can we do it?
I think we can do it. Yeah, we had to pare down from our list.
A little bit.
I will say our pantry is pretty well stocked right now, so I don't know if that counts as cheating, but like, we won't starve. This was my one indulgence. This is a chayote squash. Whenever there's a vegetable that I don't know what it is, I buy it.
You got this.
Dowel rods look hilarious.
We made it.
Just felt the need to weigh this backpack. I feel like it's like 60 pounds, but I bet it's like 35.
Maybe 150.
I think actually it's 35.
35?
I think the biggest issue is something square was poking me in the back, but let's see. Okay. Oh man, it's only 25?
25?
That's embarrassing. It felt way heavier than that. I think the eggs survived their voyage. Look, they're fine. Call that a partial success. We have food. We weren't able to get as much food as we would have liked. Pretty uncomfortable with a backpack that heavy, and like this was like digging into my spine with these corners. So I think we're gonna need a better system.
This video is sponsored by Competitive Cyclists. We are super thankful for their support of this channel and this little experiment. As we learned after our first ride into town, backpacks weren't going to cut it if we wanted to do all of our grocery shopping by bike. So we hopped on Competitive Cyclists and picked out this rack and pannier setup from Ortlieb. We also got this Ortlieb Uptown City bag for Mackie's bike, as it works with the Niner racks that we already have, and it will help us carry awkward shaped or delicate items. These waterproof bags will allow us to carry way more than we ever could with backpacks, and will protect our groceries from the elements. If you want to up your bike commuting setup, check out the link in the description and use our new code SIDandMACKY15 for 15% off your first order. Some exclusions apply.
Something is not right.
Oh, something is not right. Obviously, this is not our area of expertise. What have we done wrong? I mean, it probably doesn't have to be flat to use these particular bags, but it would look kind of dumb. I don't want all the real bike packing people to laugh at me. We took a little break, fortified ourselves with some hot apple cider, did some research on the internet. Some people advocate for mounting it with that part sloped down anyway. We're gonna go ahead with this today because otherwise we would starve to death. We found a piece. Yes, that's definitely how that's supposed to work. I don't think people are gonna like stop on the street to laugh at me.
That's your main concern.
That is my main concern. As you might have imagined, after watching that catastrophe go down, it is now dark outside.
There's a group in Los Alamos called Buy Nothing, which is where you can like post things for free. And I asked if anybody had old laptops that weren't working or were working, because I'm gonna pull their hard drives. And a woman said that she does have one, so we're gonna go pick up that.
All right, laptop picked up.
Dare we get a big part, or do we see that?
Do it, we can do it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this is great.
I'm sure it would feel heavy if this were on a bike without a motor.
Good thing it's a bike with a motor.
That was fun.
It was really fun.
It was a little harrowing, like going 20 miles an hour in the dark.
30 miles an hour?
There's something like really pure about it. It reminded me of being in college and just like riding around at night with no lights and like in the snow.
Over the next few weeks, this got easier, and grabbing the bike to run errands became automatic for us, although at times it was still challenging.
Got the box on the back, got the box on the front. It actually is not too bad because both of them are really light boxes. went to the post office, went to the hardware store, and just finished grocery shopping.
For the conclusion, it's definitely weirder to walk around with the chest-mounted GoPro when you aren't wearing bike clothes, so I'm not gonna do that.
Got oil up here on the front, and then the pack very, very full. We call that another successful errand adventure on the e-bike. The oil did fall off the front, but I will take responsibility for that.
There's a freaking pack of coyotes over there. Are they playing? Are they eating something? What do you guys got? They're scared of me. They're just playing. Wow, they're so cool. There they go. The time has come, which was inevitable, I think, when we started this experiment, that our resolve was going to be tested, and that is today. It snowed a lot yesterday. If we don't want to subsist on protein bars and condiments, we really need to go shopping today. Phone says is 16 degrees, feels like 9. I'm gonna start with this thermal base layer and thermal tights. And then I'll add some waterproof pants because the roads are still pretty wet. And on top, another thermal layer and my big puffy coat. Also got really thick wool socks and these lobster gloves. Note to self, in the future, put on helmet before lobster. I will say, I think this is the first time I have not been underdressed for this activity.
Yeah, I think the lobster gloves and the balaclava and like a bunch of layers,
And
way to go.
Giant puffy coat that's now covered in mud. I'm drenched.
Yeah.
I don't understand how it's so wet when it's like 16 degrees outside. Good news or the bad news?
Good news.
I'm not cold.
Okay.
Yet.
Bad news?
The bad news is I'm wet, so I'm probably going to become cold. This is actually better. I'm less wet than I would have been if this had been water.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. I think, though, would do this differently.
How so?
Fenders,
Yes.
for one, which we have sitting in the garage, but we're idiots. Waterproof shoes,
Yep.
which I also have in the garage, but I haven't set up yet. Those are the biggies.
Yep.
Also, we look completely ridiculous. Just trying to, like, reasonably balance the weight.
Put more things in my backpack too if you want.
We survived. Bikes are looking amazing. That is icicles on my bicycle. You guys, I can't decide if that was either the most fun or like our stupidest idea ever. Turns out, even if the temperature is 16 degrees Fahrenheit, between sunlight and road salt, things can be very wet.
I feel like every time we commute, we learn something and we're like, we need to remember that for next time. Like for me, the first time it was like, I need to wear warmer clothes. And the second time it was, I need to wear even warmer clothes. And then this time it was,
I need fenders.
we need to have fenders because things get soggy really quickly. Like, it's a learning process.
I'm not sure soggy is the right term for what happened today. Because
true.
we got wet, but as soon as we got wet, everything froze solid. So luckily, this hose is hooked up to hot water because as we just showed you, that's what washing your bike with cold, muddy street water does. We're gonna blast these guys with hot water and that should fix the problem.
We've done this for a month.
We did it.
What were the parts that you enjoyed about commuting on the e-bike for a month?
Riding the e-bike.
Yes.
For one. It's just really fun.
I feel like it made errands less miserable. Like, I felt more like, oh, this would be kind of fun. I get to ride around town and like try different routes through different parking lots. I kind of felt like a kid again.
Also, the fact that these e-bikes will go 28 miles an hour while giving you pedal assist, very fun.
I also think we probably saved money on groceries. I feel like I made simpler things. Okay. I didn't actually like that, but it did probably save us money.
I liked sort of getting our systems down because for me, that was one of the stumbling blocks I had for wanting to commute on the e-bike.
I think in general, this turned out to be way more of a logistical challenge than like a physical challenge.
Yeah.
We definitely learned some things about the kind of bags and packs that work. We're super pleased with the panniers. Also dressing. Like we definitely learned a lot about dressing for cold weather on an electric bike where you're not working hard.
You have to dress much more warmly.
So what didn't we like?
It's slightly more time consuming to do errands by e-bike than by car. And it's not really because of the getting there and back, because that's actually
like almost the same.
Almost the same. I think it's like 12 minutes to the grocery by car and like 15 by e-bike. The issue was when you get all the things, you can't just like throw them into the car. You have to pack them onto your bike.
So do you think we should have gotten a buggy instead of the packs?
That would certainly be an interesting thing to consider in the future.
I think the panniers were a better call for how we will use them long term. But I would say if someone is considering going like no car, you might want to go for a buggy. We are used to buying things in bulk, or like when something's on sale, get like 5 of them. You can't really do that when you're bike commuting, especially if it's like a heavy thing. We also are out of toilet paper, so thankfully our month has expired. Are we gonna keep doing this?
You just made it sound like you weren't.
Okay, so here's my thought. I think for the way we live, that we could very easily do 1 grocery shop a month or every 2 weeks by car and then do the rest by bike, and then that would be super easy. And that would take care of some of those issues like toilet paper, heavy canned goods. I think that's probably where we're gonna land on this. I would absolutely love to hear from people in the comments if any of you guys do live without a car, do all of your errands by bike, what that's like, what your setup is. We're super curious.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoy this video. We will see you next week. And in the meantime, don't forget
to be more awesome.